For the other Zander in the field, Ghost, this time it would be a great final day. He carded 5 birdies and just a single drop to shoot a final day best of 68. It was an encouraging showing for the big-hitting youngster from Piet Retief on the southeastern corner of Mpumalanga. Meanwhile, Weinstein, who started playing when she was 8 and is a learner at the Holy Rosary High School in Johannesburg, was steady. But here on the par 5 6th, measuring 425 meters for the girls, she pulled her approach shot left, yet had a good chance for an up and down to take the lead. The wind, which had been moderate, was certainly becoming a gale. Needing an up and down, but Lara misjudged it and gave a shot back to Old Man Par. But this galvanized her play and she promptly produced 2 great birdies on 8 and 9. Roneblatt, sporting the Swedish flag on his head covers, was also steady, but a drop on the 4th left him 1 out of the lead. His 4-iron approach on 7 looked good in the air, but it hit a soft spot in the fairway and sat down quickly just before the green. Lombard had, after his drop on the first, made birdies on 4 and 5 to set the pace. Quick hands through the ball, but his second also pitched softly. Like his playing partner Roneblatt, he had a relatively simple shot to the flag. Roneblatt with his pitch, with his hands well ahead of the ball, produced a fine shot, virtually ensuring a birdie 4. That put the pressure squarely back on Lombard, who is the reigning South African under-16 stroke play champion. He chose to execute the higher shot and left himself an uphill putt below the hole. Surprisingly, Lombard then missed a relatively simple putt, which perhaps moved more from right to left than he anticipated. It was just the opening the young man from Kungsbacka Golf Club in Gothenburg was looking for. And the lanky Swede took full advantage, making birdie 4 to put the pressure on the young man from Pretoria. On the 10th, Roneblatt hit a superb approach and comfortably converted the birdie to take the lead after Lombard had dropped a shot on 8. He was 5 under for the championship and ahead by 1. Coming down the stretch, Lombard needed to keep it together after turning in 1 over par 36. On the short par 3, the 9th, measuring 126 meters, the South African-Swedish showdown continued as Roneblatt knocked his short iron to within birdie range. And then the sweet-swinging Lombard followed him. Although the backspin meant that he was furthest away and therefore would putt first, it had developed into a classic match play situation. The wind too had picked up even more, again making shot selection vital. Lombard looking to take the lead. A lovely roll on the ball, but just missing the right line. Door open again for Roneblatt. Could he step through? Not quite, and the mano-a-mano battle continued at the testing Kingswood Golf Estate. Major winner Sally Little's golf course had become a major challenge, but not for Edenvale resident Weinstein. She'd hit the turn in level par 35 and drive after drive, approach after approach, split the fairway. Sally Little would have been proud of her too. Korea's Kerry Park was missteady herself, and here on the par 3 11th again showed her prowess with a flat stick. She would eventually card a level par 72 final round to finish in a tie for 4th place. For Weinstein, the march continued. She was firing on all cylinders and firing at all the flags too. On 11, the radar again worked superbly. Tournament director Lefson could only look on in admiration. The resultant birdie gave the flying Weinstein a 5-shot lead. Lombard and Runeblatt's duel in the Eastern Cape Sun had intensified, but on the 12th there was a 2-shot swing as Lombard dropped a shot and the Swede birdied, but the South African answered right back with a birdie on 13. Runeblatt's putter then went cold as he started a run of 3 putts. This duel was far from over. In the girls' division, it was a different story as Weinstein ran away with it up front. On the 18th, a short but tricky par 4, the 17-year-old confidently rolled another putt hole side to within tap-in distance. She filled in no less than 7 birdies on her card for a 68 with a homeward loop of 33. This gave her a massive 8-shot win. Deserved applause right around the green. The Swedish contingent came out to support their championship contender Runeblatt, and here on 16, a par 5, he'd left himself a rather nasty downhill pitch. But he played it as deftly as Phil Mickelson himself. That set him up for a birdie. Lombard then had an opportunity to put the pressure back on the Swede. But missed on the amateur side. The 17-year-old's putter had gone steadily cold as he surprisingly produced another 3-putt. All tied up at 5 under par and all to play for down the stretch. There was a 1-shot swing on 17, and then on the 18th, a par 4. Lombard had hit his sand wedge approach to the back of the green and had a tough 40-footer, all of it downhill. But he could not control it, and it sped by to leave him a tough 15-foot putt all the way back. As for Runeblatt, he was pin high but left his approach on the left-hand side of the green away from the water. He had to make sure of the 2-putt. It was a superb effort under immense pressure. Lombard then had to hole this one to stay tied for the lead. But it was not to be. A bogey 5 at the last and the door ajar for the Swedish win. With the blue and yellow flag fly high. It did indeed, as that cold putter went hot at the right time, and a slender 1-shot win for the young man from Göteborg, as they call Gothenburg in Sweden. It was a testing day out on the fairways of Kingswood in George.
But my putting was not as well as I wished it was. But I got 2-3 putts in a row, but I kept calm and it went well.
The course was very difficult today. The wind was blowing and the greens were really, really fast. So it was any man's game out there.
Last year I lost out a bit, lost by 2 shots, and it was nice to come back this year strong. I started off birdie, so I was like, okay, and then yesterday I made an 8 on 2 and I made bogey there again. And then I dropped 6 and 7, and then all of a sudden just 8, 9, 11, 12. I mean, I was making all my birdies in 2 hours. It was just amazing. It just happened.
How sweet it is for Runeblatt, while Weinstein produced the lowest round of the week. The boys' team title went to Sweden, and it was a home win for Weinstein and Bianca Tron in the girls' division.
The Kenako South African World Junior Golf Championship was brought to you by the Kenako Academy.